Let's see. Ooh.
Hey, we're live! And we've got a guest.
Hold on.
We're on episode. Oh my god, I'm gonna cough. We're on episode 16. Press the reset button and interrupt your patterns.
Exactly. This is it.
Now,
Just
we got
something different.
do something different. I know we're doing something different. We got a confession to make, haven't we, Ange?
Yes, we are.
Then last week we got 2 more left of this year.
Yeah, and then we decided to change our plan and spontaneous. It's needed. So this is our last episode this year.
This year, yeah. We're back.
Very important. Yes. We are taking a break. We're taking a break from everything. Pressing reset button.
And interrupt the pattern a little bit. Well, we were going to pre-record, which we've done a couple of times, but no.
No.
We're not doing it.
The thing is, you see, we are going to talk about pressing the reset button, so we can't just talk. We have to walk our talk, right?
Walk the walk is what you meant to say.
Yeah. No, I'm just...
we can't even talk anymore. So, yeah, this is the problem we got. Well, I got a confession. Well, I tested positive with COVID last week, so I've been resting up, and I want to have a break again next week. There we go. Happy days. It's almost like a 3-week break, but does it count when you're thingy? I don't know. Sidetrack.
It's needed. It's needed. That's what it is. And now, do you know what? I have this feeling that maybe if you didn't have COVID, not that I actually wish that to anyone, you probably...
You said, I hope you get COVID.
Behind the closed door.
That didn't happen. That's a joke, everybody.
Yeah. So no, of course it didn't. But I have this feeling that you were forced into this, into taking a break. Because probably you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't then.
Yeah. There we go. So let's look at the positive side of it. I'm glad you don't have horrible symptoms like many people do. You're actually doing pretty well, which is great. And I also have chance to actually rest properly. It might be a little bit boring for you, I know.
I can't say I got to rest as much as I would like to have rested last week, but that's another story. But you're absolutely right. It's come at the right time. Well, thank God it came now, because otherwise it would have come when I want to spend time with my boys. So it already interrupted our pattern on that.
Yeah.
So some pattern interrupts come outside of our control, don't they?
100%.
And when I was teaching, I just don't know if it was the same for you. So just when you see like people dropping, maybe losing concentration, or they're feeling a bit tired, we would strategically put an interrupt in. Sometimes they were strategic, and other times you just knew, right, well, we need to reset here, reset everyone's mind a little bit, and just get them perked up in a different sense, and then you can get back on it. Because sometimes if you are exhausted and it's, oh my gosh, you start telling yourself we've got nothing left, but we do need rest. And that's why this time of year, I know for a lot of people it can be quite tough. I've been there, to be fair. There's been times when this wasn't the best time of year for me. Now it's just all right. But what I try and do is focus on a little bit ahead. That really helped me. And having the gratitude for what I had, and just try to make the most of time as and when I can have it, and not think too much about the past, because that I found was the thing that was and sometimes what I might have been thinking about in the future was also making me a bit wasn't great for my mental health, basically. So looking back, Hans, I think really what I should have done was I needed to have paused myself and reset myself probably years before that happened.
Well, you know what? I have a feeling that it's probably easier to do that when you are working for someone else, but when you're working for yourself, when you're self-employed. I'm talking from my own experience, and I'm just wondering if you can relate to that. Sometimes it's harder to take that break because you are your own boss, and you're just not allowing yourself to take a break, because if you do take a break, then who's going to take care of your business, right? Or the reality, this is just like a stupid thing to do, because if you don't take care of number one, you are your business, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't take care of your needs, you don't take break from what you're doing, then you're not going to perform at your best. So it's really necessary, not only for your mental health, physical health, but for your business too. And I must say that for me this year, I actually allowed myself to take 10 days off. This is just like amazing. So I'm not going to be working at all. I'm going to be doing all of the stuff that normal people do when they go on holiday, which is you just go with the flow, right? You're just enjoying your mom and enjoying your time off, and allowing your creativity and fun side of you just come up to the surface. Just I'm gonna be definitely feeding my inner child, and if that means that I'm gonna sleep longer, a little bit longer, then who cares? Just I'm really gonna allow myself to do all of those things, because I really feel I need it, and it's going to really benefit me on so many fronts, business wise and personal. So yeah, happy days. I'm actually, do you know what? Ever since I made this conscious decision of taking break, I actually got excited. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on holiday. This is just amazing. And I'm really looking forward to it now. I really am. Like literally days.
Yeah, good. Well, you deserve it. You work so hard. But it's important as well. I think it's good having a few days off. But I noticed this like years and years ago, actually, that I think it was even before I went into, it was before I started business, but I had a 2-week holiday, and it took me a few days to settle.
Yeah.
So I think it is important. Then suddenly it was like, oh, I've really learned how to relax now. And, it was much needed. So I think it's important to get, a good 2-week break. And it's an absolute pattern interrupt. And sometimes you just need it. I've had a weekend away, and sometimes you go away and you come back to the same whatever, but actually it's still not a bad thing, because at least for those few days you're able to just take yourself away, take yourself away from stress. Forget about it for 2 seconds. Yeah, you might have to come back to it, but actually you'll come back to it with a much clearer mind. So that's what, as you say that to a lot of parents with their kids were doing GCSEs, and I get it, they got to take time to study, but the ones that carried on training actually did all right, and it gave them that little break to just stop, shut that noise out for a minute, and you're productive, like, which is pretty much what you just said. But as a business owner, I think sometimes you can get caught up in that. I don't know. Maybe you see you might have looked at they're doing this, they're doing that, they're busy all the time, but they probably weren't that busy. And it don't make sense to do that. It's got to be smart and sharpen the saw and rest and excuse me, enjoy.
I don't think you're chasing your own tail is anything, just what we could call smart, right? I've been doing this, I've done this for so many years, and I thought, well, I have to keep doing things, otherwise, I'm not a good businesswoman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where obviously now my approach and perception is completely different. Like you mentioned, being smart is the key. There is no smartness in just, running yourself down to the ground. Literally, there is not. And I think I learned it hard way after a few burnouts.
Yeah.
I just know that I can't afford, just burning out, because then whatever I believe in, whatever I do in my business, and my business is heart-centered business, my heart is not there when I'm burned out. You know what I mean? So I'm just missing the whole point. So it's necessary to take a break and come back with this fresh mindset, this fresh eyes, so that you can see clearly. And like I said, creativity is coming back, and that's the juice you want to drink, you know what I mean? Because that helps you to produce and create wonderful stuff. and help so many people. I don't think you can inspire that much if you don't know how to inspire yourself. And taking break is definitely the act of inspiration, self-inspiration. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it, and I'm just so glad that we announced today that this is our last episode. But don't get me wrong, guys. I love connecting with Matt and talking to you and creating what we're creating together. But I also believe that taking break, will give us opportunity to bring more energy to this mutual creation. We're already working on some exciting stuff, behind the scenes, which you're gonna find out about beginning of January. So be with us, stay with us, because we're gonna be showing a lot of amazing stuff. And that's it. I'm not gonna tell you more, but we also need a break, and just to bring this quality and all of the creative juices together, so you can really feel it. Because Matt, you're probably gonna agree, but when you're connecting with someone who is excited about what they do and they are full of themselves, even though in a positive way, even though you see them on the screen, you feel their energy, right? And that's what we want for you guys. So you can really feel this high vibe, high positivity. So you really feel like, do you know what? I really hear their words, but I also feel their positive energy and I feel inspired. So that's what we want. That's why we're taking a break. That's it. See you next year.
It is important. No, it is important. And yeah, and yeah, you're right about energy. You absorb energy, whether it's good, bad, yin, yang. You absorb it. Yeah, exactly. So, and I think as well, because we absorb it, that's also sometimes where you need a break. So that's it's quite an important thing. And I got to admit, I just feel like I've absorbed a ton, just recently. So yeah, you got to take that break. And I always think back. So some of the worst things that have happened to me mentally have been huge lessons. And actually, it was about 10 years ago. I met with a friend of mine, and he's sadly since passed away. His name's Mark Turner, and great friend. And hadn't seen him for a while. So he'd been living in Australia. He'd come over for a few days. And unfortunately, he'd been diagnosed with cancer at that point. He said to me, Matt, something's not right about it. He'd seen there was something not right about me, but I chose to ignore it. And pretty much a year later, life had changed quite a lot, really. And I think that's the thing. I'm not making excuses for whatever's gone on in my life. It just, things had accumulated to such a point where I felt exhausted. And I was doing everything I could to try and make things, work with didn't own the business then, but I could see there was some things that needed sorting out with that. And I remember, I think February, March 2012, come back from New York, trying to, help basically improve knowledge. And it felt for months I was just on a boat. Oh, it was just horrible time. And I'm just so unhappy in life in general, and just then feeling guilty. So all this built up, and is what I'm saying is, and I'm not saying a reset would have helped, but or would have changed everything, but it might have helped. And I knew I wasn't taking enough of those resets. I was caught up in life, and maybe because we had young children then, I don't know. But so basically, is that what I've learned, and still didn't quite learn then. I'm pretty much tired, exhausted, just don't even know. It definitely wasn't me. It was another version of me, I guess. And over the years, I guess I've learned that taking these breaks are so important, and having these holidays, times out, and planning stuff, and just to stop. That's what I wasn't. That's a big thing I never used to do. Was like you said, and you're right. Your life it's a business. So whether you in business or not, you've got to manage it. And you've got to manage the bits that come with it. And one of the biggest things to do is is stop and, you know, it's like a pattern into it, especially if you're in a bit of a pattern.
Mm.
If you've got some stress that's going on, and you know, you can find it. It's like sometimes it's like you're on a merry-go-round. You know, like you know, at the fair, and you kind of just still in it. It's just going round and round. It can be going round in your head. It could be going around with people. It could be going around with situation. It could be going around with work, relationship, whatever. It's just going round. And until you can just press stop a minute, get off and go and do something else, you're probably going to keep going round and round. And the thing is, sometimes you stay on there and then you drag people back onto it. Do you know what I mean? It's so having that pause is it's just important.
Yeah, it's a necessity. It's definitely a necessity. And the thing is, you see, when you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over, it just becomes boring.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, you know, now it doesn't matter, you know, how much you love the thing you do, I think you need this you need to take a, you know, deep, fresh breath of fresh air, you know, now and then, you know, because it becomes so boring. I can't find even better word. It was just like boring. You just keep doing the same thing, and you know, everything is continuously changing. Everything is continuously changing. So you want to bring this fresh energy to whatever you do, you know. So it's interesting, and I think this is just like you. Then you look at, you know, the everything from a bigger perspective. You're actually looking at your life, because obviously your life is not your business. You know what I mean? There's so many other factors. Business is part of your life. Obviously, you are your business because you are the main creator of it. But you have to have something what stimulates you. There is no growth and satisfaction without positive stimulation. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over, I really don't know anyone who is super satisfied by doing the same thing over and over and over. And I think, don't get me wrong, you know, you might be completely in love with whatever you do in your life and do it for all your life exceptionally well. But I guarantee, if you're that kind of person, you definitely take a break and do something for yourself. There has to be at least a moment, because maybe this is me. I'm talking obviously from my own experience and my own perception. Maybe because I'm Aries and I like being stimulated, you know, and just I like feeling alive. I find that breaking the pattern is the way to go for me. And I kind of cannot see all the way around now. And it's not like I have not practiced, you know, just going, you know, just on for a very long time and not breaking the pattern. I've done that, and I found it just doesn't work for me. You know, it doesn't work for me. But I just cannot see anyone who can benefit from not taking break, from not doing something to change the scenario, you know, the pattern. You know, you have to just break it at some point, just so you feel excited, you know, just about what you do. And there's again another thing. I'm sure, you know, okay, I'm going to be talking from my own experience. I think, Matt, you can relate to that. We are growth junkies, right? Mm-hmm. We love the expansion. Mm-hmm. Our interest expands, you know, and grows. We love learning new things, and we want to bring new elements to whatever we create, just to make it more interesting, not only for us, but everybody else who is connecting with whatever you create, you know. And we are in a business of service, right? So we're helping other people. So we have to have this, we have to induce ourselves with some sort of positive stimulation, some energy, some inspiration that is coming, you know, just from outside. This is just how it helps us to grow, you know, and expand, and then just enjoy what we do, and being injected by positive energy by inspiration is not only taking courses, although you can class it as a break too. But I'm talking just about everything else, what you do outside of your work that helps you to become a better person, as a better businesswoman or man, you know, and show up, right? Just like a full version of yourself, not just shell, but full version. And to take care of this full version of you, you have to take a break. Simple. You know, it could be active break, don't get me wrong, but you know, I suppose I'm talking a lot from my own experience, you know, just my own needs right now. And there's nothing else than sharing how I feel. Yeah, I'm just truthfully honest with you, Matt, and our lovely audience, and how I perceive and see, and how I've experienced and what I've learned from it. You know, so yeah, and then let's just do this to break the pattern again.
Yeah, well, break a pattern. So
yeah, I had to break the pattern. But I'm just going to break the pattern very quickly because we have a lovely comment from Claire. She just popped on to say hello, happy Christmas to you too. She's on M74, so Claire is traveling from Scotland to Devon to see her family.
Nice.
And look, and she's managed, even on the road, she managed to tag a few people just to connect with us. How amazing is that?
She must have pulled over, Ange.
I think her husband is driving, you know.
Even better. Yeah, if you are just tuning in, so we're talking about the importance of pressing the pause button, setting pattern interrupts. And this is, you know, I know it can be a tough time of year for people, but it's also the perfect time of year. And I think Christmas comes at this time of year for a reason. But, you know, forever cultures, there's different parts within culture, you know, a lot of cultures where there is a pause, where fasting or just Christmas in general, Easter, these things that they are important as an opportunity to take that time out. And especially with, you know, when there's even you got stuff going on, not going on, you will come back to, like Anne just said, with a much clearer head for it. Imagine, you know, if you ever, you do, you must have done jigsaw puzzles, right, Ange? Yeah? You know, like the big ones, and you're like, sometimes you're like looking for this one piece for ages. And you just stay there and you're looking, you're like turning them over and you keep trying ones. But if you ever then just stopped, go away, make a tea or coffee, and then you come back and, oh, there it is.
Yeah. Oh, so many times.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. We can get so caught up and we get a little bit too focused maybe on one thing or a certain area. But that time that you take away, you clear your head up and actually you'll see it differently. Sometimes you see it differently when you haven't looked at it. There's always a solution to stuff. There's always a solution. But the most important thing is I guess like the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and the 7th habit is sharpen the saw. If you try and cut a tree down with a blunt saw, it's going to take ages. But if you took time to time out, you know, if that cutter took an hour to maybe sharpen that saw, the tree would cut down much quicker. So that's, you know, the biggest reason. Like you said, it could be active, it could just be relaxes, but wherever you're at. So like these next few weeks, well, obviously I just haven't been able to do a lot. Can't even leave the house. Oh my gosh, till Eve. Yay, gonna watch Spider-Man, can't wait. That's another story. Excuse me. And yeah, just a couple of things planned, and it'd just be, for me, that pattern interrupt. It'd be some quality time with my children and doing stuff, playing with Lego, computer stuff, whatever. So they're important things. They stock up. You know, we got must have heard of a bank of time, but you know, I think we have many different bank accounts within us, with our health, our well-being, like, and the time we spend with, you know, children or relatives or people that we connect with. All these things, they're important. So, you know, we need to put deposits in for all of each of those things, because if we take too much withdrawal, then you're going to be a negative. So where I was working and just burnt myself out, I was taking too many deposits from other areas. So yeah, it was, and all I was doing was just putting time into stuff. And I just learned to work smarter, because, you know, that was just what I thought. I had to, you know, work all this time, and, you know, that's going to make a big difference. But it wasn't and something I had to give at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call.
So well said. I really like the idea of different banks, you know, and making deposits just to keep it you know, like in healthy balance, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're gonna have to make deposit withdrawals anyway. but you just got to make sure you don't take, you know, too much out. Like I said, keep it a healthy balance, and actually you'll get loads more done. I've probably said it before that you know, sometimes that time is like, switch your phones off. You know, that's a pattern interrupt straight away. And if you're working, switch it all off, and you watch. Put a timer down, say commit to one task, 25 minutes, hour, whatever it is for you. Let's say it's an hour, and you committed yourself to no distractions. You're not going to answer an email. You're not going to answer your phone because that's switched off. The doorbell rings, it can wait. And I bet in that hour, if you committed to that task, you probably get the equivalent of 4 hours done on a normal thing. So that, you know, that's not quite pressing the pause button, but it's still a pattern interrupt. I think I said to you, I switched my phone off on Sunday. Just had enough of it. Just switch it off, put it down. I turned it on once. Just wanted to speak to Mum for a bit, and then off it went. And oh my gosh, just what I needed.
Well, like I said to you earlier as well, you know, even though you switch the phone off, right, you find out that the world is still spinning, right? There's nothing falling apart.
Turning more phone up.
It's really important.
I could watch a movie. I could watch TV. No one was going to bother me with flipping messages. That was important to them, but at the time, it's like, you know what? Is someone what can I do? I'm in flipping self isolation. So because sometimes I worry, you know, what if the boys need me? So well, I can't do anything. What am I going to do? Get in the car, and so they'll be all right.
Of course, it will be all right.
Yeah.
And they will be looking forward to see you, you know, once they see you again. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, you know, and you're going to be really in the moment, just enjoying the time and being super present.
Yeah.
So. Super present during Christmas. Look, super present, right?
Yay.
present.
So with our pattern interrupts, we can see much clearer, because I expect, I know you got some big goals coming. Big goals, are they? Big. Oh, flipping out. See, this is why I need a pattern interrupt. I can't even think straight. But we got big things going on. So as a collaboration, and individually, we got some, you know, our own things going on. So sometimes I find it Christmas a bit frustrating. It's like, I just want to let me at them. Remember Scrappy Doo? Let me at them. Let me get started on this stuff. So, but actually, it just fires that passion up some more. Do you find that?
Yes, 100%. And do you know what? I didn't have that last year, but this year I feel really positive. Like this is more like internal. So it's not like, because obviously I'm just going to go back to last year. I had this intention, 2021 will be much better than, 2020. No, obviously, I think majority of us can't say it was, right? Because obviously 2020 was a lockdown and lots of, just changes happening during that time. So I had intentions that the year will be better, right? And that was the only intention I had. And in fact, it was, right? It was, I'm not saying I'm not satisfied with 2021, but about 2022, I'm feeling super excited. And I know there is something really, really good happening. And I would probably be less secretive and just tell you what it is, but I won't, because for me, my intentions, the like deep heart desires are like very precious to me, and I keep them in cocoon. So hardly anyone ever know what is exactly that I'm actually working on, and I like it that way. And the reason for it, I told Matt a little bit earlier what it is. I found that when I don't talk about what I'm working on, then I keep the energy for the creation in. When I am planning to do something and I talk about it too much, too extensively to too many people, then I end up not doing what I was planning to do in the first place. So I just know this is me, okay? This is how I work. If I keep my mouth shut and I ponder on something, what I desire, and I work on it, all of the energy goes towards the creation. So then my actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
And that's what I prefer doing. But I can tell you, it's super exciting, right?
It is exciting. You mentioned a bit, only a bit.
It is super exciting, and because I have a clear vision about next year, I also feel super excited about having this break, which is a massive thing because I didn't have it for a few years. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm actually on holiday, and I feel this playful side of myself, which is the core of any creation that I do, is coming up to the surface, which for me is a super confirming information that the importance of taking break, in order to bring more to the table. You have to have that. So for me, this is massive. Pattern interrupt. It's
Yeah.
like, well, one way or the other. I just feel it. This is like an internal dialogue I'm having, the conversation I'm having with myself. And because I am in tune with my emotions, to a very high level, I can feel the rightness of my decisions straight away, and this definitely feels super right. So I know I can talk riddles, but it feels like to me. So figure this out. You have 2 weeks before we come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I said my bit. Now Matt, over to you.
Over to me. So what will you do to relax? Are you doing something different this year, or is it just literally, nah, I'm shutting off everything? What will you do to reset, or is it private?
No, I'm definitely gonna be out much more than I have been. I'm a nature girl, I'm an outdoor girl, and since I moved my business online, everything is happening from home. I work with my clients from home. I work at home. I do everything at home. So I need this fresh air. I just need to go out and mix with all of the elements, regardless what the weather is. Just need to be out, and that's one of the things that I'm definitely gonna do. And definitely want to read some books. I tend to, over this year especially, I've been listening a lot to Audible books, and especially when I'm going for a walk. I was trying to probably find a moment to do the things that I enjoy doing, and I find that Audible is sometimes the way to go because you can listen while you're doing something else. But because I'm taking this break, I'm going back to paper. I want to read. I just want to lie down and just commit to reading. I don't know for how long, for as long as I feel I want to do it, and the rest, I'm just gonna go with the flow. Like I said, I haven't got like a set plan for what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna follow the feeling, because I've been following the plan for so long. I don't want to feel this time off with planning, because it's not break. So
yeah.
So I plan the walks and just go out. That's definitely something I can plan. But the rest, it will be very malleable, very, just let's see how it goes kind of thing.
I like it. And I get that because you know what you're going to be doing. And you know what you want. So it's pretty much same as, I don't want to get drawn into doing stuff too much because I think I'd rather come back in January and then, right, now let's go.
Yeah.
Because I'll be more focused for it. I've got a couple of online stuff I need to catch up on, but I think I'll be more productive if I can have this break. And it's hard because sometimes I'm like, I should be listening to this thing now. Give myself a break, basically, and then come back to it, isn't it? So, good. I like it, and I said mine is I'm just going to have some quality time with the kids. We got a big Lego Death Star to build.
Oh, that's going to be such an amazing time for you. At a quality time when you're actually connecting. This is very important, and I think this is also very important for me. I'm gonna have a chance to connect with kids, um, um, and spend more time with them. The quality time where I'm actually not thinking that I have some agenda. I have something to do. Just in my head. So I've got only this much of time to spend with them. It's gonna be more like free flowing again. More playful, less time restricted. And I think everybody will benefit from that, because when you allow yourself to take a break and you go with the flow, you're just more present.
Yeah.
And I know we mentioned this just a few minutes ago, but this being present is, I think, the biggest gift. That's why it's called present. Right.
Christmas present.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
And I
go.
think we just need to make the most of it. We need to make the most of it. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. And this is time to press the reset button, right? It really is.
Definitely. And you think about it, because like most people got decorations up, I guess. So, and when I take them down, it's almost like the sign of, right, this is it now. We
This is interesting. I'm gonna surprise you. Because
that?
the only thing that goes down in our house is a Christmas tree and some of the Christmas decoration we have in the living room, but the lights are staying on. I love my fairy lights, and it's like that. The lights are staying. We're gonna just keep this bit is staying all year round. We do like that. So
I have a little gnome that stays out all year. I only have lights on the tree. That's it.
No. I put more lights on this year. It's just like, come on, just let's be more crazy. I think it's time to leave Grinch behind.
Yeah, I love it. And do you have an elf?
Do I have them now?
An elf.
I know. I have two.
He's got
Yeah,
anyway. Very much. So look, I think we've pretty much come to the end there. And what's been a highlight since we started this podcast for you? Let's have a bit of a.
What's been the highlight? There's actually quite a few,
Yeah.
quite a few. I love the power of collaboration, and just something meaningful. I love the fact that it can be easy flowing if you are in the right frame of mind and you collaborate with the right type of energy, with the right type of people. It flows. For me, it's a great, big highlight. I love that. And I know this is base ground for any type of creation. So if you, for example, starting to do something, you're collaborating with someone, and it just goes naturally and easy, and you also have this opportunity to find out how you both tick. So at the moment I'm talking about our collaboration. We'll find that regardless whether we have some sort of like glitches in the system, or there is something that is not necessarily going with what we've planned originally, instead of arguing, because there is no reason to argue, we kind of always find a way around it. So we always look for alternative, and we both very hot on that. So I find that, so for me, this mutuality is perfect ground, because we are like solution oriented, is a perfect ground for any future development. So for me, this is I think one of the most important highlights in this collaboration, just to see how well it's working and how easy flowing it is. So, and the rest, I love the fact that you're bloody bonkers, and no matter what crazy stuff I come up with, you're not questioning my sanity. You just go with it, and I just love this freedom. And I think this is another great thing, when you're connecting with people who are like-minded people, they are like this, not like this, if you know what I mean. So they are open-minded, they see, or they are even when they don't see, they accept that someone else might be able to see, and they they don't question that, or they're not trying to actually put it back in the bracket. They just thinking, oh, all right, okay, there is probably something more, something I have not thought about, so you're just open-minded to it. Am I talking riddle now? Yes, of course I am. Okay, so I'm having conversation with myself, but
That's all.
but this is I like the ease and flow of this collaboration. So and like I said, this baseline that we've created, that's the great highlight for me, because again, I love looking forward, not too far forward that I lose a contact with the reality and present moment. But I see this becoming more,
Yeah.
if that does make sense. So in terms of the podcast, the collaboration, and obviously some of the wonderful guests that are just about. So I'm not supposed to be saying that. Okay, so
some great guests coming. No, put it out there. That's what's happening, and we'll put it out to universe, because we're gonna have more great guests coming on. So
we are already lining up. So this is amazing. We had great guests. We had Sarah Tynan from Australia, who was connecting with us, and she was so much fun, and so much of positive energy and wisdom was coming out from her. So we really enjoyed that, and I think having podcast creates this opportunity to connect with more like-minded people who's got so much to offer. And I think one of the main reasons why we came together to create this was to create this safe space for people who are like us, and who wants to share with the world what they do. And I just what was the word for it? When you're creating, and that's not even space, there's another word. You're a facilitator. So we're facilitating us for other like-minded people to come on board and just connect with us and just share what they've got to share. And obviously our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful audience. We see so many lovely people commenting, and your comments actually warm my heart, definitely warms your heart too. When they are benefiting from what we are saying, it's just like, what, it's really, what we do is really purposeful, and not only satisfies us but helps so many other people. And that was the thing, that was the reason why you created it in the first place. And obviously we have the role in our creation. We keep doing it as long as it's fun, and it's been fun to do it together. It's been fun to having guests on. It's been fun to connecting with the public, with the audience. So I think we are ticking all of the boxes. So that's all of the highlights, basically. We could talk more. What about you? Yeah.
Well, apart from echoing everything you just said, I was just, as you were talking, I was thinking back to when I don't know who messaged who, but hey, let's have a chat and then see if there's something we can collaborate on, and having those first initial chats. And we had no idea, I don't think, we was going to do a podcast. I wasn't sure if it was going to be, I don't even know how it came about, but it came about. And then like, oh my God, this is everything we were saying was resonating with each other. And I think it came at a good time in my life as well, the right time, as we've always said. And yeah, I've enjoyed it so much. I've enjoyed watching it evolve, and and some of more of our more recent conversations off air about where we possibly want to take this and go with this. And I like the fact that we've been consistent. There's times when we couldn't make like that week, so I know next week's different because we decided, what, that's a rest week.
The pattern.
Yeah. So we would we found a way to get an episode out and get it out live, pre-recorded, which was pretty cool. So yeah, I think, like you said, the power of collaboration and having that mutual understanding of what it is. And I think having that freedom, not they didn't have it because it's always there, but it is a lot easier to talk about stuff. And actually what it did for me, it opened up in terms of where I want to maybe explore or develop my own spiritual freedom, spirituality, whatever you want to call it, is just what it is. But open the door to other stuff that I hadn't considered. Probably wouldn't have done that course a few weeks back.
Mm.
You know, it might have happened one way or another, and that alone, just being in that group of people that, like you said, really, it's I can understand what you can talk, and people, oh yeah, I get that, that's fine, I get that. And then for what I had going on, visualizing in my head, absolutely amazing. So in that, I feel I've learned a lot more about myself. On how long has it been? Like we launched in September. I think we were talking a good few months. It was a good few months of planning, putting it. I know we haven't done a fun reel for a while, but I enjoy coming up with them, getting whacked round the head with a flipping lightsaber by Angela Ninja, and obviously Emmeline's given us a lot. How Emmeline's employed by me, but she's been quite pretty cool behind the scenes doing some stuff, hasn't she? And yeah, and the guest, when Sarah came on, that was amazing. Again, it just opened up another door, and I think I'm looking forward to 2022 for the podcast, for what we want to do with it. And I think you're right. We'll zip it on that. And of course, like, I think share, I got my journey, things that I'm doing, and you got yours and your partners, everything. And I just love the fact that we're doing everything but sharing that at the same time. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. So yeah, I think I can't wait. So every year I normally do like a post, and I look back on the year, and I sometimes feel a bit weird about it because I don't like putting stuff out, but I found it's really important to look back and actually when I do it on Facebook, and I've just started getting some of the ones I've done in the past come up, I'm like, oh my God, wow. I remember writing that. I remember how I was feeling, and it's fun to watch because I'm talking about what I want to do. I'm talking about the things I've done, if that makes sense. Or I'm talking about doing the things I've already done. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But anyway, I went off on one, didn't I? So yeah, my highlights is just, it's just how much. I think my biggest highlight is how much has expanded me, and of course the collaboration of what we're doing. And yeah, seeing the comments, seeing a lot of the comments that we get, and you can tell it's helping some people. I think I remember one, like people I don't know, and I love that. It's just not it's Matt, we know him, or Ange, we know her. It's people that, like we both said, do you know who that is? And that's very special.
Yeah,
when you connect somehow, some way to someone that you don't, like, neither of us knew. I think that was the last couple of weeks, wasn't it? So yeah, there we go. That's it.
What,
yeah,
what they say, upwards and onwards, something like that,
Onwards, upwards, yeah.
Correct my broken English.
Don't make me laugh or start coughing.
Well, this is something to see, guys. Just I love I think one of the reasons why I so love doing what I'm doing with Matt, meaning being live, talking to you guys, doing those interviews with other people. I actually contradicted my own limiting beliefs. What I mean by that, I never thought that I would be brave enough to co-host podcast, do interviews with people, and talk as I talk, when I had in my mind this very limiting belief saying that your English is not very good. Okay. How can you do that, when your English is not perfect? And I just realized this one thing. Do you know how many people I follow whose English is not perfect, but the wisdom is there? And the language is not the barrier. And I want to say to you, not that you have to go and do your own podcast, or if you want to, please do. But what I want to say to you is, like, really challenge your limiting beliefs and just go and do whatever you feel you want to try. Because in the worst case scenario, you find out it's not for you, and then you will say, okay, I'll tick that box, and you will just move on, okay? But in the best case scenario, and I love focusing on those, you're gonna enjoy it, and you're gonna find something valuable in it. And you're gonna just appreciate yourself for not listening to your limiting beliefs. And that's definitely something what I challenged, and I'm happy that I did. So, Inner Power Podcast, right?
Our podcast, there you go. All starts from within. But Ange, when I started watching some of my original videos, I know it now. I don't always speak very well. I don't care. I don't care if I miss out a T sometimes when I'm saying
you.
Right? I don't care if you don't understand what I'm saying. That's just like.
Well, I put my inner critic, so what I'm saying is you just have to challenge your inner critic, right? You have to do that. Yeah. And whoever's supposed to like you will like you anyway. So, on that level, you have to do you, right? You just have to do you. That's it.
Okay, well, we're going to finish up. So have a lovely Christmas, everybody.
Fantastic Christmas. And super happy New Year.
Make it great. If you need to reach out because you're not feeling it, make sure you reach out. Don't be sitting there on your own. That's it. See you in the new year. I think we're back on January the 4th. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure. You might. Is that? I don't know. Sorry, there was a comment just distracted us. Thank you, Cecilia. So yeah, we're back on January the 4th. We'll see you then. Same back time, same back channel. Have a great Christmas. Peace, love, always
with us.
I just want to